Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT. Massive matchup going down yesterday. Sentinels versus G2 concludes, and that leaves us with a banger final game to determine which final team is going to get through to Masters Bangkok. Sentinels or MIBR, Sentinels or Aspas, as it has seemed over the last couple of days. Loads of reaction to how Sen went down last night, getting roasted from multiple counts, but G2 absolutely dominating that series to make it to Bangkok as the favourite, arguably, will be for that tournament. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Plenty to get into today, starting with the following. FNATIC confirm they're making changes with their Valorant program. They failed to get through the kickoff and weren't even that close to doing so. Instead of making a roster change, they're getting rid of their coach. And unfortunately for Elmer Putty, it ain't looking good. Like, he was on Gen.G before, they got rid of him and they got better. To be fair, the roster was very different after they got rid of him, but it's not like they showed massive improvement. And since he's been with FNATIC as well, it's not like, tactically or whatever, they've really shown any particular signs of, making significant progress with the team, I guess. So, anyway, FNATIC confirm that, and Kojo says it, that he's out of there. Elmer Putty's gone. They're moving him to their inactive roster, which is an interesting way to describe basically dropping him, right? And they're looking for another head coach to come into their roster instead. So, interesting reactions, as Elmer Putty says, not the ideal way to end at FNATIC. We didn't perform at the kickoff. That responsibility falls on me. Great group of boys. We'll see if they can deliver further in the future. So the question then became, okay, they're going to make a coaching change. Understandable. Who are they going to bring in instead? Artist then says, Mini is also there as an option. He's even in the replies. Probably Doom Bros is maybe the most likely candidate. I thought there's an argument they could have even picked him up at the start of the season. So we'll see if that one, I guess, goes anywhere, but something at least there to keep in mind, I suppose. And of course, other people then were saying, well, I got a second. Is it time for FNATIC Chet? Could Chet Singh come into the team? Of course, former, obviously, NRG man, been in lots of conversations. He is available in a few weeks after Bangkok. So the thing is, if they want to sign a coach right now, it can't be Chet. He's actually not allowed to do that yet. Well, I mean, he's banned from competing, so I guess he's banned from signing a team, and he couldn't work with them anyway until the start of March. I mean, that's okay. I don't know. Something interesting there. And, well, Chet says, I've got a 300-page document to submit, ready to go. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next on that one. He also confirms, Kojo, that Leo is still in an unknown position, really. We don't really know what's happened. Of course, there's some speculation on long COVID and stuff, but we just don't really know. I don't think they've ever really said. Crashies will stay in the roster. Leo is not going to come back for stage 1. That is the situation. So it must be like really bad, right? Because I know that they're not trying to get people's hopes up by saying, oh, maybe he will come back. But it's like stage 1 is still quite it's a good few weeks away, right? Like, you'd think that you might not know that he can't come back. It might be a possibility that he could come back in 3-4 weeks' time after Bangkok. But, it's even longer than that, right? Until stage 1 really gets properly back underway again. So the fact that they're saying that, like, he's not going to be coming back for stage 1 is, yeah, it's worrying, right? It is worrying. So wishing him the best anyway, but it's obviously not a good situation for FNATIC. Let's get, though, into the Pacific and the matches that are currently ongoing there. The upper final between T1 and DRX is going very much down to the wire, and as it stands, it looks like DRX might be on the verge of getting the victory here. Fracture is obviously the designer. The Lotus went T1's way, 13-11. The Haven was a T1 chosen map. They had the advantage on the second side, and then they went down in a remarkable 15-13 overtime. So brutal way, freeing on the Tejo had a great map here to lose the rounds. And, well, we're here on the Fracture, and as it stands, T1 have made it 11-9. So it's looking very tasty indeed here in the Pacific. I'll probably come back to this one in a few minutes' time after we discuss some other things, because, wow, that's a banger series and potentially a banger way to decide which team from the Pacific is going to qualify and maybe be their favourite for the tournament. But this was the big result in the Americas yesterday. G2 played Sentinels, and look, I thought G2 would win this series. They've been looking untouchable in practice lately, but the way that they dispatched unmatched of Sentinels here was very, very impressive. And honestly, it was not even close. Game 1 Abyss was 13-7. G2 utterly dominated the first side. Sentinels made it slightly respectable, but in the end it wasn't even particularly close. And then the Pearl, which was Sentinels' pick, they started well. They won the pistol, but after that, I mean, G2 were just so convincing. It was honestly a joke. They won the pistol second side, and that was basically GG. 13-7 again. Jorgamo was out of control. Valin, honestly, like, he sets the standard, man. Like, he really does set the standard. From, like, an in-game leadership perspective, to play at that level, to have that much impact, to clutch in the way that he does. Man, this G2 team are a seriously well-oiled machine, and it's nice to see that this kind of guard core is one of the only cores over the last couple of years that's actually maintained success and continually made it work. If they play like this, G2 are going to win Bangkok, honestly, without too much difficulty. Like, these guys are disgusting, and it just doesn't feel like they're capable of losing when they play at that level, really. Just so crushing the soul of the opposition. Every player's perfect, winning all the clutches, you know, I mean, it's just against a team like Sentinels, they just didn't even give them a chance. So I think lots to discuss for Sen, for the other teams in the league to think about, okay, hang on a second, like, can G2 be beaten? What's going to be the approach here? Because, you know, like, maybe G2 go to Bangkok and it's not going so well for them. But still, they've qualified for Bangkok emphatically, so they're going to be one of the heavy favourites, to say the very least, for the tournament. And Sentinels drop down to losers. Lee found it pretty funny. He says, 2-0 versus Sen. This is not a rivalry. We always smoke them, basically. And, you know, so great result for the G2 guys. Obviously, for Sentinels, a tough way to lose. Now, okay, is it better to get crushed like they did, or is it better to lose, you know, a 15-13 final map? Tough to say, because, you know, it's difficult to mentally recover from the fact that you were so close to qualifying if you lose a real close one, but then also you played pretty well, presumably, in that situation, so you're more confident for tonight. Whereas Sentinels, they got destroyed so badly by G2 yesterday, that tonight they might feel like, well, you know, we're a little bit vulnerable, potentially. But Zekken says, look, we go again tomorrow. Played great, we'll be better tomorrow and all this. Boostio, of course, taking the opportunity to turn the screw, twist the knife, and Bang Zero and Sentinels suck, but everyone already knew that, he says. So, but obviously, like, he's already eliminated, so he can't really talk that much, I guess, at the end of the day. Zelsis says, rough series by us, lot more Valorant to be played, and this is the deciding series today. This, I thought, was a pretty interesting tweet from Kaplan as well, because, as he says, these guys are insane G2. They deserve to qualify. That said, how bad we lost is just gutting. We have to learn to show up on the stage. Giving up so easily, which is heartbreaking. So pretty interesting. Need to believe in ourselves more tomorrow than we did today. That's pretty interesting. I know that he's had discussions with Narrate, because I think Narrate's a player who, when he plays badly, gets a bit down on himself, and I think that may have been what happened here. So Kaplan's got quite a lot to think about there, because he feels like Sentinels kind of gave up during the series. They lost the first map, they went down big, and they felt like, yeah, we can't win this, we're not playing well enough. You know, the individuals just weren't turning up, they didn't bring the energy. Zelsis tried his best to bring some energy, but it didn't happen. So that's something to think about, because, you know, you are going to play great teams, you are going to go down big time, and of course NRG roasting Sentinels to say, it wasn't you, like, the Rate wasn't the hero that they needed in this moment. Of course, there was even some drama between Rossi and Leaf I thought were pretty funny. So, like, you know, Rossi says what could have been, because he was on the team when Cloud9 took G2 down not all that long ago in the grand scheme of things. But Leaf says it was a Mickey Mouse, Neon was still good, and Rossi's trying to congratulate him, but maybe there'll be a difference when I'm in the server, he says, and Leaf's just roasting him with the replies. I thought this was pretty entertaining, to be honest. The other series, though, MIBR crew, and man, Aspas really is just a different breed, right? Like, the fact that he's coming to MIBR, a team with, look, there's talented players around him, right? Like, sure. But, man, you can airdrop this guy, apparently, into any team and he's going to make them near enough godlike. Like, Aspas had an absolute all-timer series here. And it's difficult for Crew because they genuinely played well, and they could well have won this series. I mean, game 1, Aspas went 24-13 for the loss. It was a 13-8 to Crew. Nozra, even now he's moved, you know, off the in-game leadership role, Artzan's taken it over, still ain't playing great. So I think there's something to be said there. The Abyss, though, Aspas goes 29-9 for the win. And then the Split, 29-14, another double positive, 13-11, absolute banger. Obviously, they get the defuse on the final round to win it. So it doesn't get much better than this. I think Crew have to just hold their heads up high and say, you know what, there's nothing we could have done about that yesterday. With Aspas going plus 46 in a 3-map series to win his team the game. Absolute insanity, to be perfectly honest. And while they may not be the best team, MIBR, they do have the best player, and that puts themselves in a pretty scary position to play against. So MIBR, they are on the verge potentially of qualifying for Bangkok anyway. They're top 3 in the tournament, and they will be playing Sentinels tonight in, as of recording this video, about 11 or so hours time, something like that. Even as TenZ says, Aspas Masterclass, good luck Zelsis. So, you know, this is the issue for Sentinels, that they will be playing a serious team and a serious player this evening, right? So that's how that's going to go. We look at the Americas kickoff, the deciding games. Well, this is the deciding game. Sen MIBR. Winner stays home, or winner goes to Bangkok, sorry. Loser stays home. And look, Sen are going to be the marginal favourites, I would say, in this one. But man, if Aspas plays like he did yesterday, good luck with that. And even Sassy was saying, look, sorry, Sentinels, but tomorrow I'm rooting for my boy Aspas to get the job done. In EMEA, 2 big games today as well. Vitality Heretics, the winner of that may be the other chief favourite for the tournament in Bangkok. Obviously, Edward Gaming as well, and we'll discuss the Pacific, I'm sure, as well as we continue to over the coming days. But yeah, Vitality Heretics, who's going to be the favourites? Who knows, honestly? I mean, Heretics probably should be. Fundamentally, they may be more sound. Vitality maybe even have a higher ceiling. Tough to call. And then on the loser's side, I kind of like FUT Esports continuing to make the run, but tweet your thoughts on that in the comment section below. And just as we close out, we'll just go back here to what we're seeing in the Pacific, and it does seem like DRX have just taken the win. Let me hit the refresh real quick. Yeah, DRX just won the Fracture 13-10 in the ends. They are your first Pacific team to make it through, and T1 drop down to the losers bracket, where they will play the winner of Talon Gen.G coming up next. Man, what a banger series of tournaments that we have had lately. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.